Okay. I think we're about to get going. Nope, that's not the right one. There we go. All right. Okay. I think we're in. Hello, Internet. My hand. I'm Dustin Morbido. And this afternoon, I'm going to work on some video game stuff online. So, without further ado, it's just me today. Lorraine is off doing normal day job stuff, so I have to muddle through and try to accomplish at least a little bit on here. Hopefully, provide some more than zero amount of education to folks on the internet who just want to see a little code written or whatever. Yeah, this is what we're going to get into. Some of the things I want to try to check out today are controller related. I want to, I've got a couple of controllers here. I'll hold them up again in a second. I want to maybe implement some functionality for additional controllers to working down the drain, the game I'm working on today. And I want to make the parts of the HUD change dynamically so that the button prompts and icons reflect the controller you currently have plugged into your device of choice at the time. So yeah, let's start checking some of that stuff out. First of all, I think I'll do my best to talk kind of as much as possible, because without Lorraine here, man, it is hard to keep the conversation going. But okay, we're gonna maybe check out some of these input scripts to start with. Cause yeah, some of this code I might straight up have to refactor a little bit, because if possible, I'd like to use the same selection criteria that's already set up in the game. Basically, there's already code in the game that checks to see like which controller you have plugged in, like what type of controller, whether it's like an Xbox controller or something else. And so I think some of that code lives in here. So I think what I'm gonna do is try to pull some of that stuff out. Put it in like probably like a deeper nested class, and then reuse it in some new code that I'm going to be writing to attach to stuff that will have HUD icons on it. So let's start with yeah, so stuff like in here. This kind of nonsense. In fact, let's go ahead and character input base. Let's make a new class. Where am I going to put that? I'm not 100% sure yet. Put script. I'll just shove it in here because I'm lazy and stupid. Sure. And my phone's buzzing, and I'm clicking on stuff. Okay, so we've got this new script here. We may or may not need to start and update stuff. I'm gonna leave it in and just comment it out for now, just in case we end up using it. I suspect we won't. Then other stuff. Maybe we'll even just make a function. Don't want to get too into the weeds here. So I ultimately don't mind if it's like static data necessarily that is I pre-programmed in here to determine this stuff, but I do not want to change that said static data across multiple files. So, hey Brian, how's it going? Excuse me. So anyway, yeah. So like, if I were being even lazier than I already am right now, what I would do is I'd have like if statements like this that would read these same static strings and just put them in like 2 or 3 different classes that are going to do different stuff related to having different controllers plugged in, but I really don't want to do that. Like, that is a little beyond the pale for me in terms of laziness. So, you know what? Let's just, oh. Anyway, emojis are weird. Let's go ahead and do, come over here. I guess we'll just go with this. Oops, come on. This is my first time with the new setup in this room or whatever. It's going okay so far. I will say that this, nice. Cool. Lunch with friends is always good. I will say right now that this, so we had this little desk thing that I'd gotten, I forget how long ago, that we kept like the monitor and stuff for the streaming stuff on, and got one of those little like pull-out drawer things. Oh, excuse me. How to hold like your keyboard and mouse and stuff, and it is certainly sturdy enough to like hold the keyboard, but like I don't know if I'm typing vigorously or something, but like as I kind of like tippy tap my fingers down on the keys, it has like more give than I was expecting because I hadn't used it for any extended period of time to type really before this. So we're just gonna roll with it for now. That get hairs off my back. All right, good. Yeah, something like that. Big, meaty man hands. Okay. Let's do. Guess we're just gonna roll with this way for now. Just a regular ass boring string array. I don't remember how many it's gonna be. I think this way. Yeah, that's right. Okay. A new line without get mad at me. Again, we're going 60% laziness here, so. Oops, now I fucked it up. That's fine. Yeah, that's right, exactly. Like, this is good enough. Like, it's not so bad that I wouldn't use it, because I am using it, but it's not so sturdy that, like, I don't feel great about it. Yeah, that's pretty much the exact situation. Is that, like, it is just sturdy enough to stop my hands from, like, smushing through the desk, but it certainly doesn't feel, like, solid in a way that I like furniture to feel, you know, if I have the option. Oh, come on. Actually, I don't know if it'll let me put that comment there. Probably. Yeah, maybe. Well, let's see if that takes. Or is it mad that I kind of like inserted that comment in the middle of that other stuff? All right, sick. Yeah, this I might have to pull out of here too and put some bills. This. Perfect. This. Yeah, let me pop that other thing up and I'll show you again. Let me paste this line first. Okay, this is what I'm working on. So, I might add the ability for the game to use one or two other different types of controllers, like I have, for example, an old Wii U controller here, which, you know, I don't think a ton of people would ever use, but if we can do it and it'll take me 5 minutes, why the fuck not? And then, I want to change it so, like, in fact, let me, I think it will not get mad at me if I run the game at this point. Let's find out. It didn't turn off, like, I didn't fuck up anything that already exists, really. Oh, unless it is. How upset are you, video game? Or is it just because I, like, clicked off? There it goes. Because I clicked off the menu or whatever. Go away. So in here, for example, go in this room, and this is going to change a tiny bit anyway, but there is like an A button prompt here. That is, you know, obviously indicative of using an Xbox controller. So that I want to change in the same way that we're changing the way that the controllers are interpreted on the fly, where like if you plug in a different type of controller, it knows which buttons are where, and it knows like which inputs to take correctly. I want to make sure that all the HUD stuff we end up having in the game also updates dynamically as you use different controllers to show a prompt that would correspond to the controller you're currently using. So it doesn't do that right now, but I want it to do that, so that's what we're working on today. And yeah, right, never hurts to plug more things into a thing and see what happens. Let's go back over here. Where other else? Fine. I still might have to put like an edge case in here for. You know what? Maybe I'll just leave it and just leave it blank. Okay. Okay. All right, that's all fine. So we'll leave that like that for now, and then I'm gonna over here. Already previously on my laptop, I had moved back to the code in a second, but first I need to make a crappy little placeholder image that we'll use for at least testing some of this stuff. Where? Why can't I? So, all right, shut up. I'm gonna make a new little button prompt thing here. Probably won't use it for the final game. This one might not be used for the final game. It may be, it may not be. I don't have strong feelings necessarily one way or the other. But test, we at least need something different than this. So let's just really crank out. Let's just make it different, and then yeah, whatever. Make it all black. That's fine. Not gonna. I mean, whatever I make today is not gonna stick for the duration of the game. So give me text. There you go. Or actually, I don't want it to be an X necessarily. I think that there's a shape that is just like a cross, and oh, come on, cursor. There you are. In Paint.net, that it would be more representative of. Yeah, there we go. That's much more representative of the PlayStation button. All right, good enough. Back. Cursors. Oh my. Let's go with that. Okay, that's fine. So now we've got that. Yeah, okay, whatever. Oh no! Do it. But okay. Internet's gonna do its thing because I agreed to it because I'm stupid. There. So now let's pick one of those objects that has that A button prompt on it, like for example, that shop we were just at. So let's go to one of the scenes that it's, which I think. Okay, this has the sprite on it, but I need the menu. Actually, here. Okay. So here's where we might. We might create a new script, and so we'll either put it on this sprite itself, like the actual one with the button, or potentially on the window here. Well, let's start by creating said script. Where do I want to put it? Maybe still input? I'm not sure. The menus. It's just that. Let's call this sure. Oh, same deal. I think it's much more likely that we'll use start and update in here, but for now, keep those in our back pocket. Put the stupid paint.net thing away. Nope, still don't want to use it. And then let's do sure. Just in case, I'm gonna future-proof here because basically, let's go ahead and let's write out like a little mission statement here for what we actually want to accomplish with this. Oh god. There. Why are you so upset? There, that's fine. Okay. Uh, okay, this has to take a single UI image, change on the flight runtime based on the controller plugged in at the time. We will allow it to interact with default Unity right. Or TK2D sprites. Which are similar but not the same. The 2D Toolkit stuff is its own little library. Okay. And in fact, this will have to inherit from that other thing I was working on. This, which is obviously nowhere close to being done yet. Throw that on there while we're here. And I might have to. Or not. Let's. Yeah. All right. My plans might already be foiled here a little bit. But let's see. Do this. Let's try it. The worst thing that can happen is because I feel like that it might explicitly restrict it from being attached to a thing, which is not really gonna play with what I'm trying to do here. So I might have to come up with something else. I mean, I can make that work anyway. In fact, let's just see if this does anything. Thinking. Oh. It's all weird. Unfortunate. Oh boy. Thinking hard. Okay. Oh yeah, that's not it. Or just crash? Or... Okay, now it's fine. Whatever. So back in here, just for the sake of argument, we'll just add it onto here. The hell did I just call that? Class runtime. Oops. See, I don't even think it's going to populate here. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I might have to do the even shittier thing I didn't want to do. Is re-implement some of that stuff, maybe. Hey, how's it going, Lorraine? Let's see. Now I have to think. Yeah. Is there any other way? All right, well, here's what I'm going to do for right now. I'm just going to have to settle for this being... whoop. Come on. Interest of time for me to accomplish something during this, during this, well, dev session, I'm gonna bypass this for now. I'm gonna not worry about integrating these two things for the moment, even though I'm still hoping that I'll be able to at some point. The input type base and the character input base classes. So I'm just gonna ignore that for now, and I'm just gonna build these two off of each other. And if it ends up that they both still have to exist separately, then I guess that's just the cross we'll have to bear. But it's possible when I have more time to think about it separately that I'll come up with a better solution. But for now, Care about that anymore. Got these, and then we'll go starting here. Because I want this to be as plug and play as possible, while still being a little dynamic. In terms of like, can I attach the script? It's not necessarily the object that has the sprite we want to change, and then like assign it later. So let's do, let's write some code here that'll help us do some stuff like that. Okay. Unity toolkit. Oh, if that check is basically like, has it been assigned in the editor manually? Nope, not transform. We're just gonna assume that if one of these is assigned, that's the only one we're manipulating. So we'll make this an else. Oops. Okay, so that way only one of these can ever be true, and then in fact, I might even make this a little different today. Because first I want to do this. I want to check if either of them has been assigned, and if they haven't, I do want to see if neither of them is assigned at all. I want to see if the current object has either of them, if they exist. So let's just go. All right, let's just keep writing code for now. Worry about the details later. Can always refactor it. That's basically if it failed at that. Although this would have to be both of them too, right? Yeah, I hate this. I'm definitely gonna refactor this at some point, probably. But for right now, we'll just roll with it. Let's. I need to type. Because I could only account for one of these two states if I really wanted to. It's possible we want. We won't stick with all this, but let's see. This one's toolkit. Nope. God damn it. Think. Okay. And then sure. Go with. Yeah, this might even actually be aged a little too. But, okay. And then in each of those, we'll put. Okay. All right, so we've got some code that does some logic. Let's see. I'm gonna transplant this all the way up to the top, so it's just floating out in there. Okay. We've got this. I'm gonna these declarations up here too. And then I'm also gonna make, sure. Oh my god. That up here. Let's do icon type. And then let's go, let's just start with these ones for now. And I think I might be able to add comments here still, just like the other one. Let's see. Maybe. Use controllers. Examples. God. Okay. just do those two, and then you get the gist of it. Technically cross, not X. Okay, so go with that for now, especially since I think the A button's the only one in there at the moment. And then we need a public one of those. That will be set when you in fact, this I'm going to move down to yeah. Put this in here actually, just because we can. In our inherited class thing. Okay, and that'll have to be set manually in the editor, basically, when you attach the script to a thing. So, got all that, and then these I might be able to consolidate into one function. We'll see. Just don't remember how different it is changing one or the other in code. So, with that said, let's just build this for now. Just make sure it's not freaking out too hard. Okay. And then double check over here. I think this one's a Unity one, so we'll start with that. Yeah, so that's a regular sprite renderer. So actually, I think that's what I need to I think I might actually need sprite renderer here, not sprite. I might have to change it. And I'll also have to double check. Yeah, I think that stuff's gonna need to. These types need to be changed. That's it. Okay. And then in here, we will go. And actually, I might have to come steal something else over from here real quick. Yeah, since these aren't necessarily going to I'm hoping I can still consolidate those both into one function, but if I can, or one class rather, but if I can't, I'm just gonna steal this out of here and chuck it into here. And then we'll go here, we'll go fine. Nope. Not copy all the brackets. Yep. Okay. So. Interesting. Here. Where is it? Oh, it's that it's this one that's all right. Okay, all these are too far. Keep our code looking proper. All right. So I think just for example, let's make one function to change the bottom button, basically the A or cross equivalent on the PlayStation and Xbox controllers, and let's see if it works. So yeah, I just need to gonna need to define some other stuff in here, but for right now I think we'll hard code it in a way that it will harder code it than the way it's gonna be when we're done with it. Fix that because that was just placeholder. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then we'll up here. Yeah, I'm gonna change a lot of this in when I go to iterate on it, but for right now, I just want a proof of concept to see that it works at all. And then if I get that, I'm gonna call it an afternoon and go start making some food. That protected, probably not. Oh. Yeah, this is going to change quite a bit, I suspect, in my second iteration. Okay. Another thing I need to check is, yep, those are caps, and okay, that's already a 2-upper. Okay, perfect. That's fine. Okay. And then, yeah, this is the part that's going to change a lot because I'm going to make a much more robust way of handling this. Because this is sorta doesn't do anything right now. Yes, food indeed. Think. Where was I going with this? Temporary version of what this will eventually be. I think this is something closer to what I'm going to end up doing. But this part, it would be basically where it would set up some other data. Let me. Yeah, that maybe I'll even leave that for now. Let's do away with all of this. Just because I have a better idea of where I'm going to go with this eventually, but it's not what I'm going to do right this moment. So let's just do yeah. All this is going to be much more formalized and less dumb than this is going to be, because we're actually even circumventing some of the other code we wrote previously. But for right now, let's just do that. And then since we know we're only really messing with the bottom button, let's even just do that. Let's do Unity icon. That also might. Double check that because I haven't worked with the Unity stuff that often. Okay, might do. Do that then. From Google. I guess I'll go ahead and where are you? That's right. Yeah, I guess I'll move those over. Come on. Okay. This is like a Unity reference path kind of deal. And then Okay, so I think this might work for our incredibly shitty proof of concept. First, I need to attach that script to this thing. That's the right one, so that is the costume selection one. Runtime icon check, that's the script. I'll set this so that it's not even checking that right now, and it's sort of checking these right now, so this part should actually work, where if neither of these is assigned, it should find either Unity sprite renderer, which is attached to this object, or a 2D toolkit sprite, which is not, and then try to assign it with our placeholder code here that's basically just hard-coded to just sign the bottom button, since that's the only one in there, and just if it's either this would be for the PlayStation controller or this would be for the Xbox controller. So at the end of the day, the groundwork I have laid here, I'm thinking it should work. Famous last words. Back to this. And if this works, hopefully it won't crash, which it looks like it didn't. And then this should basically be the same thing that it was happening before right now, because I still have an Xbox controller plugged in. Okay, so that's fine. Now, here's the big, this is going to be the big one. So let's unplay that. Yank this controller out of this PC. And then, hold on, I have to slide a little. My PlayStation controller's across the room, so bear with me. Okay. Cable, here's a PlayStation controller. Now, the hope will be, plug that in and give it a hot second to, like, think about it or whatever. The hope will be that if I run it again and open that same menu, that menu specifically, since I added that script to it, will display the new that new crummy PlayStation icon I made, and not the Xbox one that exists already. So it should look like that crappy little X instead of the A prompt. Let's see how we did. It's working. That's a good sign. The controls, anyway. Okay, well. So that did nothing. Good to know. Look in here. Arrow to right. I do a thing that doesn't matter. Oh, I'm pretty right? No, hold on. It didn't even find the thing, because this part didn't bomb out. Let's look at the log to make sure I didn't miss any horrendous errors or something. No, that all looks fine. Hmm. It could have just been this part that failed. Unless, actually, wait. This might have been one. I think it's probably this. Forgot to put a call in there to do that thing. Again, I'm hoping to maybe offload that to be... But, okay. So that should call down into this parent class, which should do the set up the name to actually be a assigning the string instead of it being empty. And it should just do all the shit it already did. And then theoretically, it should work. I think that's the only thing I was missing. And then a ton of other stuff for the final implementation. But for now... There we go. All right. All right, not bad. It was not all for naught. Okay, cool. Well, that will work for me for the moment, honestly. So yeah, I'm gonna do a ton of refactoring here because this is like extremely slapped together. I'm gonna try to make this as streamlined and as like plug and play as possible, where very little fiddling has to be done. Basically, you would just drop that script onto a thing. Let me go back over that scene real quick. My hope being that you would drop this script onto a thing, set this drop down, and then basically be done, and then it'll just kind of work for every single thing you would attach it to. Fingers crossed. And then if you wanted to or had to get a little fancier, or like just for some reason if the object hierarchy did not gel with, like if you couldn't put this script for some reason directly on the sprite that it's supposed to change, that you could just shove it on like a parent object or something, and then that's why these are exposed here, so you can drag and drop you know, the sprite you actually want to change from somewhere else onto it, and then that should work fine. But that's the idea. So all the backend code is going to change a ton just to make it less bad, and then maybe if I get lucky I'll be able to integrate it with that other class that's already going for the controller inputs themselves. But I think that'll do it for the afternoon, so I'm gonna go start making some food for dinner. Thanks for hanging out, internet. Thank you, Brian, specifically. Thank you, Lorraine, for checking in. Yeah, that's gonna do it for coding for today. Tune in to Lorraine's art on Picarto/Lorichu, I think. Just Google Picarto Lorichu on Wednesday evening, 7:30ish. Tune into Skies of Arcadia on Thursday at 7:30ish. And I'll probably do something like this again, maybe next Tuesday, maybe not. We'll see. But at the end of the day, I think that's going to call it. So I'll see you later, internet. There's my hand. Goodbye. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.